Welcome to part 2 of day 7 of our epic 40-day 2025 Pacific Northwest road trip. We started off at the Laramie Bridge at Fort Laramie National Historic Site. We then traveled to the Oregon Trail sites at Registered Cliffs State Historic Site and Oregon Trail Ruts State Historic Site before making our way to Green River, Wyoming for the night. From Fort Laramie, we made our first stop at the historic Fort Laramie Bridge, also known as the Army Iron Bridge. And this here is the Fort Laramie Army Bridge that went across Laramie River. Built in 1875 to 76 by the King Iron Bridge Company, it is considered the oldest existing wrought iron military bridge in the American West. The bridge spans the North Platte River and was crucial for military operations during the Great Sioux War and for pioneers and gold seekers traveling west on trails like the Oregon Trail. It is a 3-span bowstring through truss bridge and remained in use until it was bypassed by a new bridge in 1958. Our next stop was Registered Cliff State Historic Site in Guernsey, Wyoming. Registered Cliff is a significant National Historic Landmark along the Oregon, California, and Mormon trails. This is called Registered Cliff. It's where people on the Oregon Trail would carve their names into the side. And one can see how long it is. Thousands of 19th century immigrants on the Oregon, California, and Mormon trails carved their names and messages into a soft limestone cliff face. It served as an important guest book and was an important stopover in the first night's camp west of Fort Laramie for westward bound pioneers. Here you can see the names of many people who carved their initials or names into here, going all the way back. You can see one from 1872 here. Only 1888. This cave was originally blasted out by local farmers, including cattleman Charles Guernsey, in the late 1800s to be used as a potato storage cellar. The thick stone walls provided natural insulation, protecting the produce from freezing during the winter months. Today, a gate has been installed at the entrance to the cave to protect both people and the bats that reside within it. The soft, chalky limestone made it easy for travelers to carve their names, with the earliest signatures dating back to the late 1820s. The years 1872 and 1887 can be seen clearly in the lower left. The prominent carving visible in the center of this image is for K.P. Jones, possibly 1870. And there you can see some of the bird's nest in the side of the cliff. The 100-foot-high cliff was formed by the erosive action of the river cutting through layers of sedimentary rock. The nests pictured are those of the cliff swallow, Petrochilodon pyronata, a highly social bird known for building these unique gourd-shaped mud nests in large colonies. The nests are enclosed, built with hundreds or thousands of mud pellets gathered one by one and cemented together with the bird's saliva. They feature a single small entrance tunnel. Cliff swallows typically nest in large groups that can number from several hundred to thousands of individual nests. Our next stop was the Oregon Trail Ruts State Historic Site, also called the Guernsey Ruts. And we're at the Oregon Trail Ruts State Historic Site. This is at Guernsey, Wyoming. The geography of this area forced the Oregon Trail to change course. At this point, the trail was blocked from continuing along the North Platte River by a steep ridge of sandstone rock. It had to go up and over the ridge in order to continue heading west. The ridge's soft sandstone was no match for thousands of iron-shod wheels and hooves, and quickly eroded. By the time Oregon Trail travel ended, ruts 5 feet deep had been chewed into the rock. The Oregon Trail Ruts Loop is an easy hike that covers 0.4 miles, with an elevation gain of 52 feet. It took us about a half an hour to complete. There were 4 forts, numerous stations, and camps along the Oregon-California Mormon trails in Wyoming during the mid-1800s. The 4 main forts established to protect immigrants traveling west were Fort Laramie, Fort Clay, Fort Bridger, and Fort Casper.
That's a huge pile of poop right there.
Yeah. We're heading up the trail to where the ruts are. This is a plaque for the Oregon Trail Ruts, also known as the Guernsey Ruts, as a designated registered National Historic Landmark in 1966. It reads, Oregon Trail Ruts has been designated a registered National Historic Landmark under the provisions of the Historic Sites Act of August 21, 1955. This site possesses exceptional value in commemorating or illustrating the history of the United States. The Oregon Trail Ruts is where thousands of wagon wheels wore deep ruts into the soft sandstone ridge. The various groups that use this specific section of the trail includes mountain men, Oregon pioneers, Mormons, gold rushers, and freight operators. A little more of the trail than we expected. Here's the ruts that were cut through by the wagons and the ox.
Yep.
Wagon wheels, draft animals, and people wore down the trail into a sandstone ridge during heavy usage from the 1840s to 1860s. This site provides some of the best preserved evidence of the great overland migration to the west. The half-mile stretch of ruts is considered unsurpassed in its preservation along the entire length of the former Oregon Trail. And here you can see where the ruts were. We made a rest stop and snack purchasing stop at JB's Stop and Shop, a family-owned convenience store and gas station located in Medicine Bow. It serves as a one-stop shop for both residents and travelers. The store is described as a beloved community hub for the 237 inhabitants and an essential pit stop for travelers. The current owners, Justin and Jacques George, both nurses, moved back to Medicine Bow in 2016 to run the store. Justin is the current mayor of Medicine Bow. This historic marker is found at a rest area near Sinclair, Wyoming. Fort Fred Steele, named in honor of Civil War hero Major General Frederick Steele, was established in June 1868, where the railroad crossed the North Platte River. Until 1886, when it was decommissioned, the garrison at Fort Fred Steele performed a variety of policing activities involving both Indians and civilians. We next stopped for the night in Green River, Wyoming, which is surrounded by multicolored buttes and distinctive geological formations. This is the view from outside our hotel room, looking up at the highway. Tollgate Rock is a distinctive historic rock formation known as a landmark on early travel routes and for having an actual toll collected at its base. Early day travelers cut a road through a narrow gap between the main rock and an outcropping called Split Rock, where a chain was placed and a fee charged for passage. Sweetwater County records from 1872 confirm that a man was given permission to build and operate a toll road here. In this photo we can see some distinctive geological formations. From left to right, we see an unnamed butte, Giant's Thumb, the Sugar Bowl, and Teapot Rock. This unnamed butte is primarily composed of tufaceous sandstone, a mixture of both sand grains and volcanic ash, with the volcanic ash making up a significant portion of the rock, and other sedimentary rocks from the Eocene age Green River Formation. The Giant's Thumb is one of several distinctive rock landmarks in the area. This formation is also referred to as the Giant's Club. Teapot Rock and the Sugar Bowl were famously captured in photographs by Mark Klett for the Rephotographic Survey Project in the late 1970s, where they redocumented historical photos of the American West. Mary and I thank you for watching part 2 of day 7 of our 2025 Pacific Northwest road trip. We hope you'll join us for part 1 of day 8, where we visit Flaming Gorge National Recreation Area in Wyoming.